Hello, we're in Malta and we're going to look at book number 71 in our little series of book reviews. So this is a lovely book written by Mark Warner, published by XK. I think that is the company belonging to, belongs to Mdina Glass. And it's titled Legacy 50 years of Mdina Glass, Official History, Mark Warner. The ISBN number is 9789995712471. I'll repeat, 9789995712471. So, what in a nutshell, in Malta after the Second World War, two Englishmen, Harris and Dobson, got hold of an old Spitfire hangar on an old aerodrome, which belonged to the government. And with the support of the Maltese government, they started a factory making hand-blown glass, decorative glass, studio glass. And this book details the origins of the factory, and there's some lovely photographs of the aerodrome and the factory, which is still the same factory. Goes through the sort of basic history. And what happened was Harris and Dobson went back to England, and one of the local glassmakers, Joseph Said, ended up saving the factory and continuing the employment and manufacturing. And since then, he's added retail outlets to the main factory shop and factory, and he's developed the range, and he's developed an export business. So it's a lovely story, and the factory shop is well worth a visit if you're in Malta or visiting Malta. And the stock has evolved slightly, but basically speaking, it's pretty characteristically Maltese. Yes, it is. Yes, there are some glassmakers in China now, latterly. The Eastern Europe, of course Murano and some Scandinavian glass companies that make this sort of stuff, but this is Mdina glass, otherwise we English would call it Mdina glass because we can't understand the pronunciation Mdina, we can't read it. So it's Mdina glass, M-D-I-N-A, named after the fortress of Mdina in the middle of the island. So this is Joseph next to one of his burners. Of course, it's expensive to get these furnaces going, especially at the moment. And there's some lovely photographs and things about it. The glass comes with a sticker. Most of the glass has an Mdina engraved on the bottom. Sometimes it's pretty faint, and sometimes it gets obscured with scratches. But most of it is named Mdina glass, and many of the pieces have a code stock number or design number on it as well. So the product is pretty widespread in England in all the auctions selling second-hand goods now. There's not always, but nearly always, some Mdina glass for sale. And the early pieces from the Dobson Harris era are starting to get expensive to buy as second-hand items. And it's fair to say some of the Said stuff is also equally attractive, and there's quite a following in England. Of course, in Malta there is as well. So it's great stuff, lovely stuff, and as I say, it's fairly distinctive and identifiable. Even if you don't look at the bottom, you can still see it's Mdina glass. There are other factories on the island. Venezia Glass comes to mind. And Mtafa Glass, I think, was a forerunner of Mdina Glass as well. So all the histories are sort of slightly linked up, certainly in location. The book is sufficiently detailed to give you all the things you need to know. These books could quite easily become academic and boring. I think that this book has hit the right balance. And these are the new items I was alluding to earlier on, the sort of things that the modern buyer wants to have. A soap dispenser, for example, olive oil dispenser, a chandelier, placemats, lanterns. These are all Mdina glass. And I've seen this stuff in hotels in Malta. I've seen it in houses, of course. I've seen it in office buildings. So there's some fantastic items, and they go really well. Beautiful things. So I know Joseph not well, but I know him. I've been out for a couple of meals with him, and he's a very patient man, and he has a fondness for Jaguar cars. Hence the name he's given his company, XK. I think that's correct in me saying that. And I once saw him in Sleemo with one of his Jaguars. It's one of those lovely Jaguars where it only has a cockpit for the driver. There was a panel over the passenger seat. So this Jaguar was like a rocket. So he likes his Jags, and he's looked after by his family, and he's worked very hard, and he's been very fair to everyone I know, and he's trustworthy, and he deserves all the success he's had. So well done, Joseph. You've done a great job. Bye-bye.